Hello, I am Kimberly Wiefling, and I am talking with you from Silicon Valley, California, where over 50% of the people who live here, our community, don't speak English at home. We are truly a global city of the world, and I am so delighted to be part of your community today. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very passionate about the topic of how women need to contribute to the future of our world. So let's start. Let's figure out how we can work together for the benefit of all. First of all, let me tell you what really troubles me. In a recent study, over 80% of global business teams surveyed had failed to reach their goals. Over 80%? Seriously? I'll introduce myself more and then we'll talk about why and what you can do about it, what we can do about it together. Yes, 80% and 1/3 of the team said they were just unsuccessful in general. Let me give you a hint. Women and women leadership can contribute greatly to help solve this problem. First, a little bit more about me. I am a physicist by education. I studied physics and chemistry in undergraduate and university. Then I got a master's degree in physics and I wanted to be a scientist. But back then, there were only 2% women in physics, and I was not welcome. So finally, I quit graduate school. I gave up my PhD and I joined Hewlett Packard, one of the best companies in the world, supposedly, one of the most advanced. And then after 10 years and 7 different engineering jobs there, I worked in 3 failed Silicon Valley startups. It was exciting. Let me tell you more about that. 10 years at HP, yes, I actually quit twice because I was so disgusted with what was happening with the situation there. I honestly thought this was one of the greatest companies in the world before I joined. And then I find out, oh my gosh, it's so screwed up. So I quit and I joined 3 failed startup companies because, hey, it's Silicon Valley. Don't worry, every time my startup failed, I joined a new one, got a raise and a promotion. It was exciting. So, what next? Well, I got to tell you a little bit more about Hewlett Packard, why I quit twice. I was one of the first 2 women repairmen at Hewlett Packard repairing analytical equipment like mass spectrometers. And I was one of the first women in engineering and R&D. And I was leading an R&D project. And I would go to the meetings and I would say, oh, should I wait for the other women to arrive at our meeting? Just kidding, there aren't any. And I was harassed quite a bit at HP because not just because I was a woman, because I was this kind of woman. I was strong and unapologetic, and I was having fun trying to get stuff done. I was kind of aggressive, but I thought it was assertive. Anyhow, after 10 years at HP, I stopped trying to fix them and I went on to those startup companies we just talked about. But one of the women I remember from HP was Jane Evans. She was one of HP's first 2 women engineers. And she told me when she graduated from the local university here, she actually got rejection letters from companies she didn't even apply to, telling her, no need to apply here. We won't be hiring women engineers. Can you believe it? How far we have come? So after I got out of HP and all my startups, I wrote a book about all the predictable and avoidable failures I had seen in the business world. It was published in Japanese by Nikkei Business Press. I also wrote a book about inspired organizational cultures because I realized it's the organizational culture that needs to change so that we can all bring our highest and best to the world. But my favorite book is Scrappy Women in Business. I wrote this with 11 of my scrappy women friends from the US, from Asia, and from South Africa. It was amazing to hear the stories of these women, regular women who just refuse to quit. Scrappy women in business. Scrappy means we get stuff done, not always in a socially acceptable way, like we're expected to behave, and not always politically correct. Sometimes step on a few toes, but we're not afraid to be the nail that sticks up, that gets hammered down. The first one to stand up is the one who gets shot. That's okay. We are willing to be that kind of scrappy woman in business. And so I was so inspired by their stories, I didn't give up my fight to help make a positive difference on planet Earth. So let's go back to this. 80% of global teams failing to achieve their goals. Why? What are the reasons? Ooh, and this is something, listen, because women can contribute to fixing this. Number one cause, they didn't build trusting relationships. Are you serious? Women understand how important it is to build relationships, build trust, to help and support each other. Of course, men do too. And studies have shown that when more women participate, there's more psychological safety in a team. There's more trust. Second reason, communication barriers. I looked at the data. It's not only language, it's also how to make decisions together, how to solve problems together. Not one bossy person saying do this, but the collective wisdom, the group genius. And again, women can be very good at teasing out what is the group genius from this community. Number three, goals of the team and team members were not aligned. And number four, the team vision and goals were unclear. Let's look at all four of these. Oh my gosh, look at these. Causes of failure, trust, communication, goals. Guess what? You know whose job this is? Ooh, this is the job of the leader. Leader, this is totally a failure of leadership. Now, ladies, please pay attention. Women need to step up and help. This is completely a failure of leadership, and women need to help lead in our world. This job, yes, the leader's job. Okay, now let me just share some interesting fact. A few years ago, a study was done. People were asked, who's your most admired leader? And this was done in the United States, and they said, nobody, nobody. Now, let me tell you how easy it is to make a difference. If you want to make a huge positive difference, it is not difficult. You can be a leader, leading from any chair, without position, without title, without even a job. You can lead. Let me show you how to lead. Women can help by leading from any chair. Studies have proven that having more women means better business. One study in 17 different countries found that having more women creates that greater psychological safety I talked about, more team confidence, more willingness to experiment and be efficient as a team. And there's a whole bunch more data about how women lead using more inspiration and participative decision-making, positive recognition and appreciation, as opposed to command and control. All right. So women tend to bring the group genius together. Now, only 10% of Fortune 500 CEOs are women right now. And why? Because shareholders should be outraged. Businesses with more women leaders make more money. All right. There's actually more CEOs named John in the Fortune 500 than there are women. Ridiculous. All right. But it's happening. It's changing. In the last few years, the percentage of women in senior management has grown globally. I'm not talking just about the US. I'm a global person, and I am looking at the global situation. It is improving. In fact, in the Asia Pacific region, 27%, 35% women participating in senior management. That is more, by the way, than in North America, 29%. The US is one of the toughest places in the world to be a woman leader. Again, why? Crazy. Look at it. Look at the numbers. You get more money. You make more profit. Shareholders get a better return on their investment. There's no downside to having more women participating in the business leadership roles. What's stopping us? Yeah, there's the system. We can blame the system. And we can blame personal biases. Yeah, people like to hire other people who are similar to them. But what's in our control? Ourselves. Let's look at what we can do. All right. I don't want to try to blame all the outside factors when I can do something myself to change what's happening. Let's get out of that box together, shall we? And lead and contribute to making the world better for everyone. One of the big causes of our problems, ladies, is the imposter syndrome. That's that little fear that maybe we will be found out, that we're not really so smart, so bright, so talented, that lack of confidence. Trust me, confidence is not required. Commitment is required when you have a purpose beyond profit, a mission that matters, something you care about more than being comfortable. You will find a way, or you will make one. And we will help each other to make the positive differences we need. So you can listen to that little voice in your head, and then you can say, thank you, and then just turn down the volume and go on and be committed to transforming yourself, your team, your company, your world for the better. There are different expectations about men and women. Every culture has this. Yes, I am a victim of that too, but I refuse to stay a victim. Yes, women have all kinds of challenges. There's lots of data. If you want to go into it, please dig deeply into all the reasons why we can't do this, and then throw it aside and let's do it anyhow. Starting with this, let's learn the difference between leadership and management, and let's commit to leading wherever we are, in whatever position, among our family, our friends, our communities, our businesses, our teams. Let's lead from any chair, without position, without title, without permission even. Let me tell you the difference between leadership and management. Lead people, manage cows. I work all over the world. I ask people, hey, who likes to be managed? Raise your hand. Nobody raises their hand. Nobody likes to be managed. So let's lead people and manage tasks, manage projects. Be a leader, not a boss. You see the difference? A leader is out front leading the way. Leadership is from a word meaning path maker. Management is from a Greek word meaning path follower. Path maker is harder. Well, that's the job we need to do. And Harvard Business Review said, hey, managers plan, budget, organize, staff, control, and correct, all very important. And leaders set the direction, align people on that direction, and then motivate and inspire them to go in that direction. We can do this with any community that we're a part of, your entrepreneurial venture, your team, your startup, your company, your city, your community, your country, our world. We can do set direction, align people, motivate, and inspire. We don't need permission. It's about acting like a leader, communicating like a leader, thinking like a leader, having the right mindset, and that will give you team success. Don't wait for permission. Now, let's talk about something else that's happening because of this terrible employee engagement. This engagement is so low because leadership is so terrible throughout the world. There are engaged employees, very few. There are people who are not engaged, just come to work just to get a paycheck. And then there's this guy, actively disengaged, working against his own company. And this is a direct result of really bad management, people trying to manage people, lead these people. If you want to engage people, there's 12 things they need to say yes to. It's not rocket science. I won't cover it today, but look up the Gallup engagement hierarchy, and you'll find out it's as simple as recognizing and appreciating what people are contributing to your team, your business, your entrepreneurial venture, your startup. So yes, here's how bad it is. Only about 15% of workers are engaged worldwide. 85% of employees are disengaged or not engaged. Okay, please, this is costing a lot of money. Women's leadership can help fix this. We need you. Higher engagement leads to higher quality of life, more profits, more productivity, less bad things happen too. We must change. Women of the world must come together to change, but change feels so uncomfortable. Don't believe me? Just cross your arms. Yes, cross your arms. All right, now look down at your arms. Cross them the other way. See how uncomfortable it feels? It'll feel weird and uncomfortable, but it's just different. Okay, it's not wrong. It's not bad. It's just different. So if we want to make a positive difference for our world, and the world needs our help, we must be willing to change, take necessary risks, learn from mistakes, experiment, prototype, and fail forward together. Together, when women contribute more in leadership roles, when women contribute more in the business world, in the entrepreneurial world, everyone does better. There is no downside for women contributing more leadership to our world. There's plenty of need for all of the people of our world. We need everyone's help. So take necessary risks, learn from mistakes, fail forward, fearless, creative innovators. Let's go on together. Yes, we can do it. Just like this little turtle, he's going to go after that giant dream. We can leap. We can leap. We don't have to wait until we're not afraid. We can jump while we're still afraid. We can grow wings on the way down and learn to fly if that's what we have to do. But knowing is not doing. Knowing is not doing. We must take action. So let's make a commitment. Remember, I said no confidence is required. It's commitment that is required. So here's an example from the founder of Estee Lauder, the cosmetic company. She said, when I thought I couldn't go on, I forced myself to keep going. My success is based on persistence, not luck. Just keep going. You have a baby. How many times does the baby fall before learning to walk? Maybe dozens of times, hundreds of times. You would never go up to your baby and say, just crawl for the rest of your life. How many times you want your baby to try to walk before giving up? That's right, until successful. So why should we give up? If we expect baby to keep trying until successful, keep going, keep going. That's the secret to success. I am here. I have struggled. I still struggle because of being a woman, and I refuse to give up. And I am so glad to join with women globally and with you in your conference to make a positive difference to our world and the coming metaverse. It's exciting. We shall do it. We can do it. We will do it. The Earth from space at night. Look at this. At night, from outer space, look how connected we are. Look, we are one planet, one people. I personally don't care about the country boundaries. I've worked with people from over 50 different countries, and I find we all share same challenges, same common ground of human beingness, and we must together solve the problems of our world. Not just some of us, not just men, women, all of us. We must contribute to creating a fabulous future. What will you do? What will you do to make a difference? Our world needs you. Thank you for what you're already doing. When you have dark times, keep going. Don't give up. And we will achieve together what seems impossible will become possible. Impossible just means you don't know how yet. Many things seem impossible until your competitor does it. Thank you so much for your time. Remember, there's so much need in this world. Keep going, keep growing, fail forward, and just never give up. Thank you so much for your precious time, and I'm so happy I could be with you here today. Woohoo!